Wow, I was not ready to go from spring to summer so fast. But this week in LA, it was 90 on Friday or 89 or something, sweltering anyway. And my apartment is still kind of smoldering this morning. So I'm in the halter top and sandals phase of things. And it was a bit too soon for me, but here we are. I was thinking about this card. It's called the Restorers. And it's a lovely gem from this lovely gem of a plant oracle by Philip Carr Gomm, who is a lovely gem of a man. I love his teachings. I love his really cute YouTube, Tea with the Druid. And I have a lot of plant decks, but I find it very refreshing and very unusual and wise and original. And I really like to use it. It's one of my newer decks, so it's one of those where I need to read from the book a little bit. But I did pull it, and I thought I would kind of share a bit about what do I do when I am reminded when I get this card, or when I just know when I'm feeling kind of that tiredness that comes with knowing I need a pause. So I thought this would be kind of a good place to comment on some of my own plant rhythms and rituals for self-care. So the card is also the cover image of the book, and it's the Restorers, and it literally is based on a combination of three healing plants. The first one I don't know. I don't know rose root. Being from the States, I don't know if it grows here. This deck is more centered on Wales, Scotland, the UK, Ireland. I'll just read a little bit. So the byline, the meaning of the card is retreat, balance, calm. And those are things I personally am always seeking. Um, it's always a good reminder when you get this card, take a minute, take a day, slow down, have a wellness day to yourself. Um, the upright meaning of the card says, although adventure and excitement are necessary ingredients in life, we also need periods of peace and calm, oases in our busy lives. Drawing this card in a reading may mean that you, excuse me, may mean that you should create such a time for yourself now. Retreats are an important part of spiritual practice, and these can include visiting the old sacred sites, walking the old tracks, which I love to do when I'm abroad. I love the pilgrims' paths as well. But wherever you are, you can take a retreat. Even if you are busy, see if you can withdraw from your schedule for 3 hours, during which time no one disturbs you, and you treat yourself to whatever will help you find calm. Better still is a longer retreat, 3 days or more, in a setting close to nature. By taking such a break, you give your body and soul a chance to catch up with each other and to find balance once more. So, and then he talks about the healing combination of these three restorative herbs. Rose root, St. John's wort, which I've worked with, and valerian I've worked with. Just a little intro on the plants. The restorers are a trio of ancient and indigenous plants of the Druid sourcelands, which act to restore the balance between body and soul, healing the heart and mind with their calming and strengthening powers. This card shows a healer in her body sitting beside the fire. Through the open door, we see the Scottish Highlands. Roseroot and valerian hang drying in bunches from the rafters, and freshly gathered St. John's wort lies on the table. So, I just thought I would mention some of the things I do for myself when I feel this or get this reminder. So, of course, it has to do with plants. Um, Sometimes I might make myself some beeswax candles over the stove because I know how good it is for us, for our spirits, for our brains, for all of our senses to work with our hands. And I think making candles is pretty laborious, but I also find it really calming. So I'll get out my materials and make myself some beeswax tea lights, which that's what I like to use. And then I love the idea of like packaging them and putting them away in a box and using them little by little over time. And to me, it's like a way of taking care of myself and giving myself something pleasurable, beautiful. There's that symbolism of the light. Every time you light a candle, so there's making light, literally. Beeswax is very pure and smells amazing, so you're feeding your senses too. I also like to take the time and cook myself something really healthy and balanced, and better still if I can make it a dish that I can cook all week. So I can feed myself a little every day, and to me, that's very restorative. And I make sure it's very pure ingredients and very healthy and not processed. I try to use fresh herbs as well, and some hearty root vegetables and good greens, and a really healthy source of protein. So that's something else that I do. And then I might brew up some of my favorite skin food, which I also use on my hair, along with my hair oil, which I put some of my perfume into. And I like to maybe make a new bottle of the perfume that I wear. Most of the time I wear my own scent Ismani, which it's in my shop by popular request. So many kind friends and strangers too have just asked, like, what are you wearing? Can I have some? So I made the scent for myself, but so many people like it that I have listed it in the shop. Um, So there's also something gorgeous about just making yourself your own scent. Maybe you make perfume too, and you can just sit down and make yourself a beautiful body spray and a scent, some hair oil, some skin food. Since I am in Southern California, I do try to take good care of my skin. I love a nice olive oil soap, just completely unscented. And then I make myself the skin food over a with a double boiler and a I'm not gonna think of the word right now. The kind of pot you use when you're making when you're tempering chocolate or making candles too. So I'll melt down some really good oils like coconut and um, cocoa butter and olive oil, and then I'll add my essential oils and herbs of choice to that. And then it's something I apply under my eyes, and I put on my split ends sometimes if I have any, and sometimes on my skin if I get too much sun. I love having these things made for when I need the quiet moment. I also love making these things, which gives me more quiet moments. And it's like this rhythm of self-care and working with plants and my senses that I just kind of love to perpetuate. And in a way, I feel like it perpetuates kind of a wellness. Maybe not. Maybe I need more, but these are kind of some of my restorative rhythms I thought I would share here in light of me getting this card. And so today I'm going to make some um, my Moroccan chicken, I call it, with a homemade spice blend with Moroccan style spices, a chicken breast, some baked yams, or maybe I might make mashed yams with coconut, and I have some vegetables to roast, fennel being one of them. I love fennel. So I'm going to be having this kind of weekend. And I'm just wishing everyone else a restorative and aromatic and lovely, hopefully not too hot weekend as well. And I'll be back with the card pull really soon. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.